So can you believe in parthenogenetic replication and still be Christian, or still be a Christian? Without even mentioning parthenogenetic replication, a lot of the New Age and pagan and goddess worship religions and everything seem to point to that, but they don't go that far. It's like still sublime, and we still use a symbol to relate to a technology that we don't have, right? And so people, they try to use it to get some kind of power over other people. So it's like they start drinking menstrual blood or something, like they don't even really know that you can rub it on a candle or something. You can use it in talismanic rituals, or you can rub it on a candle, that you're not supposed to drink it. Like there's this famous rapper, I don't know, I forget who he was, but it was like some kind of scumbaggery. You try to use magic to influence people's will, change their will to suit your best, to suit your wishes, right? So it's kind of scumbaggery, but and to make people like really wag a finger at all those like pagan goddess New Age stuff, and I don't want to fall into that either, but because it's hard to imagine that at some point in time women had the capability to do what only amphibians and reptilians can do, right? But I'm suggesting that before a stage of entropy, when women didn't have menstruation, they didn't have a period, so there might be some sublime indication that to find out where we came from, because where we actually come from is something that's more unknown and mysterious, and we don't really know. So it's like it's something more mysterious and amazing. Like it's probably something that we even have the ability to give credence to it, because we're too busy laughing at it. And I'm not saying that it's true. I don't think you can really be a pagan anymore, and you kind of have to be born into those, because they have a different dogma and mystery system that when we get it, people try to use it to hold to like some kind of power over somebody else. So if they get the menstrual blood and they start mixing it up with Merlot, to tackle the smell, or to do something with it so that you can make it possible to drink it. I don't know who told them to do that. You just got to get that power. They don't even know what the power would be to use your deduction to follow and trace back what happened to where women now have heavy flow days or period blood. Because before that, you could say, you could think, and because I don't know, I'm saying you could think it, but it's a possibility that the species was given some kind of circumcision. And right around the same time that they stopped cloning female copies of themselves, because they needed a masculine half of the feminine archetype to bulwark, to absorb stress, and to buffer and bulwark for the ability to reproduce. Is like, so that's their responsibility. And then you have different tasks and everything, and the men's tasks are like rough and tumble, and you go and you live in the in the rough parts of you live in the rough areas, and then the women live in like the hearth area, you know, like the place where the root of your civilization is. And so pagans might be even still practice rituals that are only useful when in their perception that parthenogenetic replication was a thing. Druids and Amazonian women were and of lore and like legend and lore, they had that ability. But you know, we can say like humans don't have the ability, but it could be that something like something changed. There's been changes. There was a flood. There was a lifespan of like 1,000 years, and after the flood and the suspended, there was water suspended in the air, like another ozone layer, and it got what's it called? Congregated and then heavy and then poured through in the flood. So now we're susceptible to more ultraviolet and rays and stuff is like, you don't live as long anymore. But you can't shake a finger and laugh at the notion that people used to live for thousands of years. And I'm not saying it's true, but I'm not going to shake a finger and laugh at the notion of parthenogenetic replication, because all we ever know of the female species is that they have a menstrual cycle. It doesn't mean that you can't be a Christian because you're saying that women evolved to have a period and to give birth to men. But it's not evolution, it's entropy. So you could believe alongside of Christians in entropy, but it's and then the pagan and New Age religions will like never really go that far as to talk about parthenogenetic replication, and they give you the sense that men through you know, some kind of motivation to take over, converted the divine feminine archetype into the patriarchy. So then you must be against the divine feminine archetype because you don't want to challenge the patriarchy or suggest that it's a sinister motivation of something to take over. But I don't think that entropy means that Jesus never lived, you know, or Christ never lived. I don't even know if you need a piece of paper that proves his lineage or that shows like all these people referred to and all the proof and everything that you need, because even without it, your spirit could tell you. But if you laugh at that, then you lose that ability to listen to your spirit. You know, it's just like people don't need to know what certain words mean in order for them to get the concept. Like, what's the one? Nescience and solipsism, right? You don't need to know what nescience is or solipsism to know that some people are not lying because what they're saying is wrong. Some people are lying because they know something to be wrong and they say it anyway. So separating the two, you know, you're not going to come down on on those two people the same way, because what is a lie, right? Or we don't have to know what epistemology, teleology, and we don't need to know what like all this stuff means. Like there's old couples walking around that have been married their whole life and they don't need a lecture about ecclesiastics even if they didn't know what it meant. Like maybe it's something for you. So, you know, and I've seen people like make fun of certain kinds of people or something. It's like, it's funny, you know, but if you do it, you're going to limit yourself. Like you're going to probably alienate. And so it, like, they could trick you to hell, you know, in a sense. But even though they're on a trajectory not toward hell, like this for you, it's for them to do and say what they're saying, and it's for you to understand and do and say what you understand. But people don't want to talk about parthenogenetic replication, and it's not because it's like it's not because they're afraid of it. They're afraid of the scumbaggery associated with people drinking period blood because they want to get power. Like they want to, yeah, and that makes sense. But they wouldn't. So let's say you make fun of those people. You don't have to be afraid of the concept of parthenogenetic replication because we don't have it anymore, or it's going to give ammunition to the argument for evolution. It's not going to do that. And pagans that drink period blood, when they find out that it's just a way for you to trace something scientifically back to learn more about your own origin, like that's all it is. Like, you've been drinking it, you've been doing, like, they're gonna feel like shit too. They're all like, so everybody has an interest in occulting it. And it's like there's been a knowledge of it, but people don't speak directly to it. So it's like we have a knowledge of symbols around something, or like there's a Parthenon in Greece. What is Parthenon? That's where they had the oracles, long-haired women. Why do they have to be women? You know what I mean? Why is it? It's like they could get a prediction out of them because they're the closest thing going back to parthenogenetic replication that we have. So it's like you can get some kind of catered questions answered or something like that. It's not that there's like some kind of crazy magical powers or anything like that.